Welcome back. It's the start of funnel week at the Iowa Capitol, and lawmakers have until Friday to get their bills out of committee. Iowa chapter of the Alzheimer's Association held an advocacy day at the Capitol today in support of two bills that the group says will improve health care for Iowans with Alzheimer's. One bill would increase access to biomarker testing by putting the test under insurance coverage, not only for Alzheimer's, but other illnesses like cancer as well.
So biomarker testing is like a blood test or a scan to help diagnose a disease like Alzheimer's disease. But there is a blood test very, very soon on the horizon that will be much more accessible to people. And so we want to make sure that our insurance coverage is keeping up with these new advancements in research and treatment.
The other bill they're pushing for would add 6 dementia service specialists to area agencies on aging facilities across the state of Iowa.
And these positions would help families find local resources, refer them to specialists, even do cognitive screenings to help see if there's some detection of Alzheimer's and dementia. And what these positions will really help do is not only help families find these resources, but also keep their loved ones at home with them longer.
The Iowa chapter says there are more than 66,000 people in the state living with the disease and 98,000 caregivers.